What's up, Dave? Happy Friday the 13th, buddy. I just squeaked the chair again. All right, never mind that. Listen, we got a new thing happening.
What's that?
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press, man. It's when a track we think is pertinent enough, at least worthy enough of checking out the day it drops. Today being Friday. You know whose day that is? Mr. Macdonald.
Okay. Wow. He does Fridays. That's his drop day, right?
That's his drop day. That means it's nobody else's, because that's according to him. But yeah, anyway, he dropped a track, and you usually can tell by the title of the track what you're about to get. Usually a sweet, sensitive something, or something a little more hard hitting, maybe even slightly political and aggressive. Well, this song is called Brainwashed. So
Brainwashed.
I assume he's talking about 85% of the country, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a ball buster, but you never do know. So I say, let's just jump into this thing and see what we got.
Well, are you sure it's 85% of the country? Because I think it's like 85.2%. I'm just saying.
Well, Dave, that's wow. That's the meanest thing I've ever heard you say. I wanted to say 90%.
Oh,
okay. I did. I kept it cool to be nice to you, and I know you're living in California and such, so I don't want to offend you or anything.
My feelings are already hurt.
Hey, but
okay.
they shouldn't be. You said 85.2, and it just made my heart sing. Let's see what we got, okay? Tom Macdonald.
Yeah, music.
Half the country fell asleep, but they scream woke. We're distracted by vaccines and TV shows, politics, celebrity gossip, popular neat quotes. Black lives, white lives, which lives mean most? We only dedicate one day to remember our fallen soldiers, the men and women who died young. But if you come out the closet as Caitlyn Jenner, you're a hero and you get a whole Pride Month. The most dangerous pandemic's propaganda from these clowns. Only mask that's gonna save us is duct tape on their mouths. Don't speak. We don't need to defund police, need to defund the media who lies through their teeth like Big Pharma doesn't cure you, dog, cause every patient that gets cured is a customer lost. And big oil runs the world. The only wars that get fought are with the countries who have natural resources they want. Heard him claiming if a white man braids his hair and likes rap, he's appropriating culture. But if a white man acts too white, he's white trash. He's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a monster. Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb, not all Republicans are racist. The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors, cause they know that if we get along, we'll probably go against them.
They can't stop us, cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us. But we won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed.
Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets.
The whole world's brainwashed.
It's us against them, it ain't you against me.
How did monkeys become people and people turned into sheep? They put fluoride in the water that's keeping us all asleep. Claim they want what's best for us, I find it hard to believe, cause they've been selling us cigarettes since we was 18. Fake news, fake woke, distract and divide. You're either right or you're left, or you're black or you're white. Big tech don't need a microchip to hack in your life, cause the phone inside your pocket is a tracking device. And I don't know what I'm more sick of, rappers or Joe Biden looking like he ate 100 Xanax for dinner. Cause censoring the president and kicking him off Twitter is a bigger threat to freedom than foreign ballistic missiles. You don't trust the police or the government, but you want people giving up their right to own a firearm. Why would you be comfortable if police and the government the only people on the planet with the right to buy a gun? White privilege getting amplified to reinforce division. It convinces white people that they're favored by their skin, and black people getting angry cause they're told they're treated different. So the conflict is between us and never with the system. Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb, not all Republicans are racist. The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors, cause they know that if we get along, we'll probably go against them.
They can't stop us, cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us. But we won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed.
Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets.
The whole world's brainwashed.
Train the people only to consume. Step 2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step 4, separate the right from the left. Step 5, separate the white from the black. Step 6, separate the rich from the poor. Use religion and equality to separate them more. Step 7, fabricate a problem, made a lie. Step 8, put it on the news every night. Step 9, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design.
They can't stop us, cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us, but we won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed.
Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets.
The whole world's brainwashed.
It's us against them, it ain't you against me.
Well, well, well. Well, well, well.
I'm just gonna let you speak first. I know you're gonna have a lot.
Yeah, I
to
do.
say.
I feel like I have a lot to say, but it's like, what do I start with first? I love that stuff, man. I love it. For one, I think the dude is talented. Like I said that time about Eminem, don't always agree with everything he says, but I love his delivery. I love his voice. I love his writing. And that's how I
Right.
feel with Tom. He resonates in me. He gets my body shaking. Okay,
Right.
so if everybody is brainwashed, then we're not going to be able to fight back. It's like the chorus and the verse is like fighting against each other. Like everybody's brainwashed, but we're not going to take it, kind of thing. And I don't know.
To be 100% honest with you, man, listen, I know people from all sides of the political spectrum, right? And it's just the only time that I see what he's talking about in this song is online. It's that fake Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. Well, like, I have never in my life met a person that's really like this. And have people, or I have friends who will go into this weird thing, and it's just this whole like woke, be woke, be woke. But if you meet them in person, they're not like this, right? So a lot of it is just image. A lot of it is, and I'm not just saying woke people or, Democrat or Republican, choose the word that fits, that side of everything too. But I'll sit down, have beers, and sometimes we'll talk about politics. We never argue or get mad at each other.
Because you're like-minded. The thing is, you judge a person on their actions. It's the actions of the politicians and the people who put them in power that makes this strife that we clearly are having through these last few years more than anything. I know the pandemic has really shook it up, but so did Trump.
Right.
And we do have a complete frickin' zombie as president. That's very weird. It was weird when we had Trump, though, too. The extremes are just all over the place. When he listed those 9 steps of divide and conquer, that's what it is. We don't know those guys. I agree with you. It's a great point to make. I wouldn't have made it, and I'm glad to hear it because I agree with it. I don't know anybody who's sitting across the table from me, going crazy about their views or acting like he's feeling, right? But it is the people in power that are a problem because they are affecting our daily lives.
Right. And, this kind of brings up something.
And they are brainwashed because there's some people, how could they possibly hold office? And especially for so long. But that's me railing off. I'm sorry.
right. And I'm thinking more about just the
Yeah,
people,
person
right?
to
And I'm
person.
thinking of right, and I'm thinking a lot more about. So I used to work in social media, right? And my whole thing was collecting data and things like that. And this is a thing about a lot of people don't understand about computers, right? You're so used to everything being magic, and none of it is. Like, there's actual human sweat and tears going into this, right? But the thing is that computers are ultra limited. And one thing that I think a lot of people get wrong is about social media and, well, what influencing really is that there is no sentiment, right? They only care, it's not that they only care about likes, follows, and comments. That's the only thing that can be measured, right? And people think about, well, sentiment. Like, there is no sentiment, right? It's like, think about back whenever this whole thing started, the pandemic thing, right? Everybody was like, oh, stay home, we're all in this together. Got a lot of likes, a lot of comments, a lot of love. And then after about a month or two, people just kept on doing it. But guess what went down? The likes and the comments went down. And even though all the comments that they were getting was positive, you would think they would keep it up. But the thing is, they can't measure the sentiment, right? Now, going through that, right? All this woke stuff, right, is all negative sentiment if you ever look at it. People are just arguing,
Yeah,
getting screaming mad at
yeah.
each other, but they're measuring likes and comments, and that's it, not sentiment. I truly believe,
Who is
okay,
measuring the likes and comments? The people? The computers.
computers.
How about the guy who runs the place, who censors words, meanings, thoughts, kicks you off? We're supposed to be freedom of speech. That happens at the
Yes,
top. All this stuff from Tom is about the top. And we
yes,
are being
but
brainwashed. And it's almost like we have to be brainwashed or brainwash people again so they can figure this out. This is not going a
yes,
good direction.
but the point I wanted to
Yeah.
make was that I truly honestly believe that the people that are the ringleaders of this kind of like things that he's speaking out against, they probably have hired 10,000 people in India to click and upvote and comment all over Tom Macdonald. Why? Because as more Tom Macdonald speaks, it draws attention to it, but it also makes the people running all this stuff much stronger.
Well, I don't doubt
And
that.
that
You
definitely
know,
it definitely goes
yeah,
up
it
to the
goes to the
top,
top.
because if there was no argument, nobody would be on
Listen,
Twitter. Let's be
listen,
honest. Twitter would have
if
uh, Twitter would
humans
die
will
if there
always,
wasn't
check
this
this out,
argument.
humans will always argue. And they want to argue even more so than they are right now, or that they're allowed to.
I
Listen to
don't
this.
believe
Listen to this.
that.
If the tops of Facebook and Twitter or whatnot were to let, instead of dictating speech and the freedom of it,
Yeah.
allowed for speech on their platforms to be ruled by the Constitution of the United States of America and the laws the
Yes.
country has passed and put in place. If the law of the
Yeah.
land was in charge of those two sites, yeah, it'd be a little bit uglier in a lot of places, but it would get a lot better in a lot of places a lot quicker also.
I said this like many years ago, and I said it to someone who was a programmer, and he just looked at me like, and that's a big problem. The fact is that there are actual programmers out here who believes this stuff is okay. And I think
Right.
that, we can't, people that program computers and me as a programmer, that is one of the many reasons why I do not consider us to be engineers, because there is no code of ethic,
Yeah.
right? There used to be something called the Hacker
Yeah,
Manifesto,
I've heard of that.
which is
Right.
anti-establishment and freedom of
Right.
speech, freedom of the individual
Like
being,
all out.
and
Yeah.
preferably to use things for the sake of goodness. But I believe deep in my heart that most people are good, most people are well-intended, And I believe that there's really not many people who truly believe that someone who doesn't get a vaccine should die of COVID. I don't
I
believe
don't
anybody
either.
actually
Oh,
thinks
there
like
are.
that. But
They-
some people will say,
there
well,
are, but not a lot. Not a
they're
lot.
not
But there
not nearly as
seriously
much
are.
as
You know an asshole when you see one, you know?
right.
There's
Sure, there, but I would say it's 1 out of every 1,000
more.
people, not
Or
one out of every
more.
5
Yeah.
people,
Oh, totally.
like you would think,
Right.
right? That's what I mean, right? It could be 1 out of every 500. I mean, the numbers don't
Right.
matter. I'm just saying that the magnitude of what's being amplified versus
That's
what
it.
you're
That's it. That's
actually
why, yeah.
happening is
Way different. That's
right?
why I enjoyed the song. You know, you could throw away a lot of lines if you like, but the sentiment of it is that's what they do
Right.
to us. They blow it all up so that we're mad at
Yeah.
each other instead of fighting the real power, which is them. You know,
Yeah.
the loony bin is running the place and they're playing us. And
Well,
you know, I don't even hate him for it. I do hate him, but I don't even hate him for it because, look, I always think of where's the good guys? If there are good guys and things are going bad,
you know what the good guys
they're
are
not doing
doing?
shit, in my opinion.
The good guys are doing what I believe is the correct thing. If you don't want this anger and sentiment and nastiness in your life, you should ignore it, because without the likes and follows, guess what happens? It all dies. Without the views, it all dies. Why do you think, the news agencies just create like, whoa, crazy headlines? Because they need
the
clicks.
clicks.
It's ad money. It all comes down to what gains money, and there is no ethic,
There is no ethic
within that right now.
Damn, that's true.
And so the good people are doing their
They're
civic
just living their lives
responsibility
and being good people and doing their best.
And when they see that stuff on Twitter
They
or
just-
Reddit, they ignore it, they scroll past, they block words, they filter out their
I'll
own
tell you this.
content.
I know we don't want to go too long or anything, but I was on Twitter for
Yeah.
a while. I got in fight with like this pro wrestler, like famous and stuff. I was getting into weird stuff, man. I had a cool conversation with Deion Sanders. I mean, I was just all over the place talking, but it was too much,
Right.
and I stopped it. I had withdrawals like I do when I occasionally stop drinking beer. I mean, I was out of my mind without it. Now it's been a year, and I can't imagine going back to that cesspool. I can't imagine going back to it. So, but it was hard. It was hard to get away from it. But this is, again, Tom Macdonald. At the very least, look at the conversation stirring. We've had some great videos where we've had conversation stirrers, but he is one of those guys, and you got to give him respect for that. And I guess we got to say goodbye. I don't want a huge thing, but Dave, you're one of the smartest people I've ever known, and I'm always intrigued by your thoughts. So I love having conversations with you.
Hey man, you're always you're smart too.
I do my
obviously.
best.
I keep on talking to you.
Yeah, you keep working,
Dude,
working on me, and I'll be good in time.
Everybody is part of this 95.2% of
That's the thing.
Morons
That's the thing.
walking the earth, man.
What
We're
is Tom doing? He's brainwashing me. See, it's a full circle. There's only a couple old people sitting on rocking chairs going, I don't know what the hell they're all doing out there. But, they're the only ones immune from life. But I enjoy it. Man, I enjoy that stuff. Have a great Friday the 13th, my friend. Talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.